Hello, this is Bridget Round with Divine Essentials. Okay, so I just received a new deck, Whispers of Love Oracle cards for attracting more love into your life from Kristen. Thank you so much, Kristen. She says, "Hi Bridget, you are simply the best. Love and light, Kristen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are awesome sauce." So I'm going to do a reading to check in for masculines. I know a lot of the feminines are the viewers, but they're usually checking in about their masculines. So I'm just going to get some messages, and I've actually been receiving a lot of messages in regards to some things that let's just see if they come out again. In my private readings, they've been coming through. In my own readings, they've been coming through. I keep getting the same messages, so there could be some things that are just needing to be known at this time. So let's see what masculine messages are needed at this time. They need some rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. So at this time, masculines are really needing to kind of cut away from things in their life and just take some time out. Some resting and some relaxing. I do have I love you. These are very important words. And I'm feeling like they need to feel that. They need to feel love. They need to be able to feel forgiveness. This is number 29, which is 11 if we add it up. It says, nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. So they could be just feeling badly. They could be feeling like they're not going to be forgiven, or they could be dealing. I really do feel like they're dealing with some nasty stuff at this time, and that's why their spirit's kind of calling for them to just kind of rest and chill out and to feel loved, and that they can be forgiven and to forgive themselves. So feminine, you know, I know it's hard to forgive sometimes, but if you can, try to help by forgiving them for things, and that's going to help you too. And we got, look at your patterns in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. So they could really be dealing with some toxic stuff. We'll see what else comes through, but I have felt some things, some similarities coming through from spirit in regards to the masculines recently, and they may even be now at this place of looking at the patterns that they have in their relationship. We've got the Eight of Swords coming through, so they could feel like a little blindfolded and kind of stuck in these patterns that they have, the ways that they've been in the past. It's like, you all know the things that they've done haven't always been great, and that could be why they're having a struggle with this energy. They could be feeling really depleted, because when you act in a certain way, you know, the energy around you is going to mirror that. So people that you deal with are going to mirror that. So if you're somebody that's not speaking your truth or acting in integrity, the people around you aren't going to act that way either. So they may be at this place where they're starting to realize the way that they've been is kind of impacting their energy levels, and they're having a hard time feeling loved, and they're having a hard time forgiving themselves. And they could just kind of be feeling stuck and blindfolded in regards to things in their lives. Hermit is on the bottom, and the Hermit can be a reflective, but it can also be a depressive energy. So they could really be dealing with some toxic things that are just making them feel not so good, you know. I just dropped a bunch down here, but I'm going to pick them up and shuffle again. I did see the Seven of Swords, but we'll shuffle it up again and just see. So one of the things that I've been hearing is that there's been a lot of deceptiveness happening, whether they're dealing with people who are deceiving them or they're deceiving others. There's been a lot of energies around that, and this just came out like it was upside down. So this is the King of Swords. We know the King of Swords is about somebody speaking their truth, and I feel like they're having a hard time speaking their truth. I feel like they're having a hard time speaking up about certain things, and they're having a hard time even like forgiving themselves for the times that they've maybe not said the truth, or the things that they haven't been able to express fully, and they're kind of in this like stuck energy and just needing that time out to kind of feel like, is it even possible to forgive myself for these things, or is it even possible for somebody else to forgive me for these things? Here is the Empress. So one of the things followed by the Devil. All right, so here it is. This has been coming through a lot. We all know the Empress can be this person who's pregnant, right? Some of the Karmics are intentionally getting pregnant right now, and it's a very manipulative trickster energy because they don't want to release the person they're with. So if they're married to somebody, or if they've been dealing with somebody for a while, this person may actually be trying to get pregnant in a manipulative way, and that's another way to keep them bound to the connection. It's a manipulative way to make them have to deal with them for the rest of their lives, because there's this energy out there where things are shifting. A lot of the masculines have actually been shifting and changing and trying to release this stuff, so those karmics that they're dealing with are actually holding on tighter, and they're actually trying to get pregnant. They're trying to keep the masculine bound to them, because it's like, well, you're not going to leave me out in the cold. You know, look at, I have your child, and if I have your child, you have to deal with me for the rest of your life. So it's very manipulative. I wasn't going to say it unless it came up, but it's here, and it came through very clear. With the Devil and the Empress, it's like, okay, yeah, this is happening. So just be mindful of that. And also, it could, you know, some of the feminines could be getting pregnant at this time too. So if you are dealing with your masculine in that way, be careful. Make sure that you're doing it at a time that you're not going to get pregnant unless you want to, but don't do it in a tricky way. Don't try to trick somebody into that, because that's not fair. That isn't something that is easily forgiven, and that's not going to have very good karma. But it is showing up here that, you know, people are getting pregnant at this time. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, it's happening. But with the karmics, I do feel like there's some out there that are really trying to persuade the masculines into things with them, you know, saying, yeah, oh yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then they're going to actually be pregnant and then stuck with them. So because the feminine doesn't want to be left out in the cold, but what she doesn't realize, the karmic feminine doesn't realize, is that she will be left out in the cold, but it's just, it's going to be even harder, because then she's going to have a child to take care of. So that is something that has been coming through. I know it's not good energy, it's not fun to hear, but I think it's because some of these karmic people who are feminine, obviously, because if you're dealing with if you are the masculine and you're dealing with a feminine, it's highly unlikely that she's going to be getting a man pregnant, but she could still get pregnant, or the guy that she's with may get her pregnant, and it may not be intentional. It may be an accident. So I'm feeling like there's this heavy energy of accidental pregnancies happening on the parts of the divine masculines and feminines, but intentional on the parts of the karmics that they're dealing with. With the Eight of Cups, it's this influence of feeling like they're going to be left, that somebody's going to walk away from them, so they don't want to be left. They don't want to be left out in the cold, so they're kind of grasping at straws, and they're trying to keep this energy alive in their lives. They may even be kind of playing them, going back and forth, and even sleeping with other people to see if they can get pregnant with those people, and then lie and say that it's yours. So if you are a divine masculine, be careful of that. If you're sleeping with multiple people, or if you're dealing with somebody that's sleeping with multiple people, just be careful, because this energy is out there, and it's come through in a lot of private readings, and I've heard it from spirit quite a few times. So trust your intuition. If it sounds like something that may happen to you, you know, do take precautionary actions. Don't go rushing into situations purely out of passion. Queen of Wands, because there's going to be some Queen of Wands energy out there that's going to kind of trick you so that they can feel victorious, and thinking that they're going to put a death to the end of the relationship, and in reality they're just kind of making things worse for themselves, because it's not going to keep some of these people. I mean, for some of them, the masculines may feel like, okay, now I have to stay here and deal with this, but for some of them, they're not going to. They're still going to leave, and so that's going to be even more difficult for the child and for the person that is now by herself with a child to care for. So just know that karma always works its way out, but that is there. So let's see what else wants to come through from here for the masculines with this other deck. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. So again, with this energy here, it's like they need to kind of just take time out and feel this stuff that they're feeling. I feel like a lot of them are trying to run from their emotions. They're trying to hide from it. They're not allowing themselves to just feel what they're feeling, because sometimes it's not good to feel these things. And they could intuitively be picking up on this stuff and feeling stuck already. They could have already heard that somebody's pregnant. They could already be dealing with this stuff. So they need to kind of just take that time out to embrace what they're feeling inside, to honor it and allow themselves to transform, so that they can come to a place place of victory and see things from a higher perspective. You know, if you're feeling passion inside of you for your feminine, honor it. If you're feeling passion for something in your life, honor it. Don't allow yourself to, you know, turn away from it and pretend that it doesn't exist, because it's just going to eat you up inside, and it's going to not end well for you. You just have to allow yourself to cry if you need to cry, sleep if you need to sleep, do what you need to do to honor these emotions, especially with the energy, with the Pisces energy. It's going to make heightened emotions even higher at this time, and they could be really feeling emotional about the patterns that they've had in their lives, or the people that are in their lives and the patterns that they keep going through. If they've been that Knight of Wands, you know, if they've been somebody that's been back and forth and in and out, they've been the player, they're looking at that pattern and they may be wanting to walk away from it and to heal it, but it's like hard to face that sometimes. It's hard to face the things that you've done. If you've left people feeling this way in the past, if you've dealt with a lot of toxicity, if the people in your life are trying to trick you. And I feel like this isn't just like karmic people, like the romantically. I feel like it's a lot of people in the masculine's lives have been toxic in nature. They've been using them like for simple things. Like sometimes it's like, hey, we're going to take your car, or we're going to you know, do this at your house, or I need a place to stay, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And they just take advantage of the masculine and whatever the masculine has in his life. And this can even be a feminine that has masculine energy. So it could resonate for all of you. But, you know, just think about this. Like if there's been people in your life that are taking advantage of you, that's going to make you feel like shit. It's not going to make you feel good. You know, it's going to make you go into this hermit mode because you don't want to deal with people who are going to just use you and abuse you. And I think intuitively they're picking up on this now, and they're wanting to take some action and to communicate out to the universe that they don't want to deal with this anymore. But instead of like dealing with it and facing it and releasing it, they're like kind of going inward and getting really tired and kind of just like, oh my God. But it does feel like they may even be looking at their part in it, like, I've allowed this to happen. And people, like, you don't just attract this into your life because you're a great person. People get attracted into your life and treat you this way because of the things that you've allowed into your life and the things that you've done. Again, karma can bring you a reflection of who you are. So if you've treated people poorly, if you've been in and out of people's lives, if you walked away from the people who were passionate for you and, you know, trying to help you, trying to give you victory, you know, wanting to assist you in transforming these things, but you continuously stayed stuck, you have to look at your own responsibility in that. And I think that's why they may be having a hard time forgiving themselves, and they could be having a hard time even feeling this energy of I love you, because they feel like they don't deserve it. They don't feel like they deserve love because of all the toxic things that have happened in their lives, or the toxic people that they're dealing with in their lives that are just using them or manipulating them for one reason or another. And then we have actions speak loudly. So express your love through your actions. I'm thinking and feeling that a lot of these masculines at this time are realizing that they've never really followed through, you know, and especially for the feminines. Like, think about all the times that your masculine may have said something to you but then showed you something completely different. They're starting to realize, like, their actions haven't aligned. And I think they're realizing that the foundation that they built has been built off of something that's not solid. It's not good. You know, you can build a beautiful home but walk into it and feel very empty inside because you've built it out of this nasty energy. Your actions didn't align with what was true to you at a core level, and the people you've allowed into your life have been tricksters. Look at, we have the fox energy, which is tricksters. So it's like, look at the foundation you've built. Look at the things that you've done. How are your actions aligning with how you're feeling inside? If you're not feeling fulfilled, if you're not feeling like loved and supported, you know, it's because of the actions that you've taken along the path of building the foundation. And I think a lot of the masculines are starting to question their foundation, question the motives of the people in their lives, and, you know, realizing that things maybe aren't feeling so great at this time because they need to transform them. They need to put a death to the things that are keeping them from having victory. You know, if you can have all the money in the world but still feel very, very alone and empty inside if you're only building out of a place of manipulation, or if you're only like aligning with people that are manipulating, but you're only going to align with people that manipulate if you manipulate. So think they're starting to realize that, and that's why that energy of forgiveness is there too, because they're struggling to forgive themselves for the things that they've done, and there's this energy of heaviness inside of the heart and their chest. And I think they do have a lot of passion inside of them that they're wanting to kind of align with, but it's like they may be wanting to walk away from the unhealthy passion in the past where it was like in and out, back and forth, never really following through with the things that they said they were going to follow through with. So there's this desire to change that, but maybe not even knowing how to at this point, because they've now been left out in the cold due to those actions, due to that energy, due to the manipulation, you know, this devil energy that they've been stuck in. And, you know, not really knowing how to be abundant and transform it. But I do think the energy will shift. It's like you just have to speak your truth and then act on your truth. So if the divine masculines are listening, you know, you gotta speak your truth and act with truth and integrity. You can't expect things in your life to be good if you're not being good to those people in your life, or, you know, putting yourself out there in a healthy way. So I think intuitively they know that, and they're getting ready to make healthy communication and do things that are actually going to be truth-filled, but they're afraid that even if they do, it's not going to be believed, because they're not sure if the people that they're going to now try to talk to and say these things to them even still love them, or are going to forgive them the times that they did lie, because of the patterns, because of the trickster energy, because of the manipulation. And so it's like they're just being called to embrace their emotions and to take some time out and to not just get all up in their head and crazy, and to just know that things happen for a reason. You know, we all have our lessons. Not all of us are perfect. You know, none of us are perfect. We've all had our things that we've done that have been bad. So let's see how masculine may be feeling towards the connection with his feminine at this time. I have, oh wow, Ten of Swords. So they feel defeated. They feel, and that makes a lot of sense with all of this. They could be feeling like she doesn't want him anymore. And that may be like why their emotions are kind of up in turmoil. They could be really looking at the things that has manifested into their lives, the patterns that they've done, and feeling like they may have fucked up a little bit too much now, and that forgiveness may not come. So they're in this energy of defeatedness and anxiety. Nine of Swords is on the bottom of the deck, so they're not in a very good headspace right now. They could be watching from afar or checking on the feminine to see for any signs, if she still like cares, or if she still wants to partake in anything with him, to see if there's any signs that she may still love him. But again, you know, I think they're looking at the foundation they built and realizing that the actions that they've taken have kind of led to where they're at right now, with this energy of like feeling defeated and feeling anxiety ridden and kind of just observing from afar, maybe not taking any actions. So let's see if they want to take any actions towards their feminine. We've got Justice and Judgment. So the actions that they're wanting to take is probably kind of like spirits coming in and giving them those nudges, is giving them that realization. It may even be helping them to realize these errors of the ways of the past, and like, you know, feeling the heaviness of emotions. Spirit could be giving them a lot of signs and synchronicity. They may be seeing the feminine's name places. They may be seeing things that remind them of the feminine wherever they go. It's like another reminder. You know, meeting people that are familiar to the feminine, or even in dream time dreaming of her. But it's like spirit's really pushing this onto them, and it's making them want to take an action that will lead to justice. So they may be trying to find the strength to come towards the feminine for union, but I do feel like right now they're in that energy of feeling like they're not even sure if it will work, or if that she's going to hear them out, because again of the stuff within the past. They just feel defeated. So it's going to take a lot of strength for them to get to this place of balance. So I'm feeling like feminine may have to be patient while they get through this energy. But with the Page of Cups, it does feel like they're wanting to make some sort of love offer that will start this next phase of things within the connection. But with the King of Cups, they could be, you know, being influenced by their emotions and by the moon energies and by the insecurities. They may be drinking to kind of escape their emotions, or they may be partaking in things that help them to push these emotions down, and that's why they're saying, like, feel your fucking emotions, people. And, you know, Spirit's trying to give them the signs and to assist them, but they may be kind of missing the mark sometimes and going through tower moments. So let's see if they, you know, how they are viewing their feminine right now. Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands has been showing up a lot lately, and this is a lot of passion energy, so they could be very passionate towards the feminine, wanting to make some sort of action towards her sexually, being desired. That's like that phallus energy there. But I think that, you know, when they view her, they're viewing her as somebody that can bring her that sexual love and nurturing energy. They may want to have a fresh start sexually with her, have another opportunity to be with her in that way. I think they're seeing her as somebody that's transforming in her own life. And then we got the Six of Cups. So, you know, I think when they view her, they think about reconciling. They think about changing themselves as well, because they've seen her transform. They've seen her reconcile with her inner child and reconcile with her inner demons. And, you know, she continuously forgives, but her actions always align with her words. Like, she doesn't lie to the masculine. She doesn't say, like, she's going to do something but doesn't follow through with it. You know, she's built a solid foundation for herself, and she's always stayed in the vibration of love towards him and forgiving him. And the patterns that she's brought to the relationship have probably been very different from the patterns that he's brought. Like, no matter what he's done, no matter what emotions he's evoked into her, she takes her time out, she expresses her emotions, and then she forgives him. So, you know, they could be wanting to get into that energy and being kind of pushed by spirit to get into that energy of reconciling. I think when they look at her, they see her abundantly transforming too, coming to this place where she's doing a lot of work on herself to get into this place of abundance, to no longer, you know, like, put herself into a place where she's not going to be abundant. She's taking care of herself. She's doing what she needs to do in the material world, the emotional world, in the spiritual world. And that could be making them want to kind of rise up. Or they could even be viewing her and her King of Pentacles energy in this place of union with herself. And that could be kind of inspiring them to make those same decisions. The Two of Wands is about decision making. And if they're dealing with a third party situation, they could be trying to make a decision in regards to that. You know, like, you know, this person has always been there for me, has always cared for me, has always loved me and forgiven me. And, you know, they may be trying to decide on how to break free from these things, or how to make a decision in regards to these other things in their lives, whether it's another person or if it's an addiction or if it's just a job or something. But it's like, I think they see the value that the feminine has brought to their lives, their own lives, the feminine's lives, and the union that she has acquired within. And that could be making them trying to make a decision to do the same in their life and to step up to be an emperor instead of like a, you know, this or that or the other thing. To really kind of reconcile with themselves and to take that next level commitment into bettering and growing and doing what needs to be done. So let's see if they have anything to say to the feminine at this time. I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. I'm more affected than you know, and I miss you regardless of how things seem. So these messages have been coming out a lot recently. I do think that they probably have checked up on you. They are probably more affected than you know. They probably are doing things that doesn't seem like they care or seem like that they've been affected by it, but they definitely haven't forgotten about you, even if you think that they have. And they're trying to say, like, I'm not the same person that you remember. So if they were very toxic in the past, they're trying to make the actions to do what needs to be done to get rid of that. And they like want you to know that I'm not the same. And the last one, my mind and heart always comes back to you. So it's like no matter where they go, no matter what they do, how far they're gone or how long they're gone, things always bring them back. You know, their heart and their mind is always coming back to you. So let's see if we get one little card for the feminine, what you need today. What is this? Treasure your loved ones. Oh, two came out. Treasure your loved ones and look to your inner strength. It is important to love others deeply. So I know it can be hard sometimes in these connections. You may start to, like, you know, pull yourself away from others and kind of want to retreat from the world, especially if you're in a painful place or if you're emotional. So make sure that you're not cutting yourself off from love from others just because you're not receiving love from your counterpart. And then, you know, realize that you are stronger than you think and that you have all the strength inside of you to receive love and to open up to the abundance that is coming in with this portal energies and everything that's going on collectively. You know, listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but need to listen with a loving heart. So it kind of goes along with that energy of, like, you know, actions speak louder than words. you know, maybe there's not saying anything to you at all, but you need to like tune into that spiritual spiritual connection to this relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. So, you know, go inward and listen with your heart. You may not be hearing anything from the physical. You may not be hearing anything telepathically. You may have shut them off, but just open up to the words of your heart and listen for that, and, you know, see what comes to you intuitively at this time, and know that, you know, everybody's struggling with emotions, everybody's struggling with these energies that we have at this time. So try to be in that place of forgiveness, try to be in that place of listening and opening, and just find that strength inside to continue on and not cut yourself off from things that are going to make you feel better at this time. You know, get out and do something, go spend time with people who can, you know, embrace you with their love and their actions align with you, and, you know, give them space to do whatever it is that they got to do at this time, and you know, keep your head high. So I hope that this assists you guys. I hope that you are doing okay. Thank you again, Kristen. I do love this deck. It is absolutely beautiful, just like you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I did want to say, I've noticed that there's been some comments on the channel within the past couple of weeks. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just move on. Like, there's no reason to comment negative things. I've had people like say like, oh, you talk too long or whatever. Like, there's always timestamps. You don't have to listen. They're free freaking readings. Go somewhere else if you don't like it, or, you know, start your own channel. I put a lot of time and effort and energy into this, and if there's nothing positive to be said, then don't say anything. Especially, like, even with your connections, I know you can be hurt and stuff, and I get it. There's some of you that say negative things, but it's because you're in a painful place. But there's others out there who just say negative shit to trigger other people. If you're going to come on my channel and try to trigger other people, there's something wrong with you. So go away and don't come back, you know? Like, get your shit together. There's really no reason to be negative towards other people in this world unless there's something, like, severely wrong with you inside. So I'm sending you all love because you clearly need it, but get the fuck out of here. Okay? So thank you again, guys. If you'd like to donate, there's a link down below. If you'd like to get a deck, there's an Amazon wish list down below. If you'd like a private reading, I'm on a 2-week wait, but the information is down there. I will be working on private readings, and I have been tired, so I'm doing my best with them, but they will definitely be back before the 2 weeks is up. And I think that's it. So thank you again, Kristen. Thank you, everybody. In Mune, namaste.